Hello and welcome to Dialogue at Nation Next. I'm Radhika Dhawan. The Nagpur Municipal Corporation on 15th of September slapped a fine of rupees 5 lakhs on Dhruv Pathology Lab in Nagpur for violating the ICMR guidelines and even suspended their license. So today I'm in conversation with Dr. Mundra, who is the owner of Dhruv Lab. डॉक्टर मुंद्रा आई वुड वांट टू नो कि सबसे पहले ये जो डिस्क्रिपेंसीज की बात कर रहे हैं, ये जो वायलेशन ऑफ आईसीएमआर गाइडलाइंस के बारे में जो बात हुई है, एनएमसी ने कहा है, उसके बारे में आपका क्या कहना है?
वायोलेशंस जो हमारे एनएमसी की तरफ से बोला गया है कि द वायोलेशंस हमने किया है, हम लोग टू ब्रीफ यू, वी स्टार्टेड टेस्टिंग, वी गॉट अवर लाइसेंस फ्रॉम 4th of May and we were the first lab in the private sector to start COVID testing. And so we have been doing this for last about 4 months now, 4 to 5 months. So, and yeah, we were regularly doing, initially the workload was very less because there were less number of cases, but gradually it increased. And because of the sudden spurt in cases last few weeks, it has been very high, the number of tests we are doing. Now, what we do in lab is we take samples also. We do home collections. We take samples for patients who come uh, in the lab. We do collection in a different area, and then we do tests. Now, after the testing, we have software which reports the test, and it is emailed to the patient who has come for testing. And recently, we also installed a software where a WhatsApp report is also sent to the patient. So it is faster. They don't have to come back to the lab to collect the reports. Now, in addition to this, as per ICMR, we are supposed to upload the data on their portal. So that we were doing. Initially, we were doing matching with the speed, but another, we have to submit this records to various places. So one is ICMR, second is NMC, that is Nagpur Municipal Corporation. And we were emailing the data to NMC, whatever was being sent to ICMR. Now, these two things required the patient name, the phone number of the patient, and also the address of the patient. So it's quite a detailed thing that has to be uploaded on the portal. And they were asking us to email this on a separate Excel sheet also. So recently we were reporting about 300 to 400 positive cases in a day. And we were trying to cope up by typing all the addresses on the portal also, on the Excel sheet also separately. So it was getting duplicated. But since NMC wanted us to do that, we were doing it. And the third way in which they wanted to send us data was through WhatsApp. So we were just sending them WhatsApp data where we were just telling them the total number tested in one day, plus the cumulative data that was being tested over last since the beginning. So this was the third way in which the data was being sent. These three ways we were sending them data. Now, because the number was increasing, the number that our staff, we have separate data entry operators, about 6 to 7 of them, whose job is just to upload the data onto the portal. Because after reporting, we were supposed to sort out the forms, the patients who are positive, patients who are negative. Then the positive patients, we were supposed to find out how much positive the CT values of these, uh, and these we were uploading onto the web on the portal. Now this started lagging behind whatever we were supporting, and this I think was not acceptable to the NMC people because they said we have to upload it on a real-time basis, and this we were not able to do, and therefore they were annoyed. I mean, they were not happy with it, and they decided to take this step, whatever they have taken.
So there have been cases of false positive also. कुछ लोगों का कह रहे कि false positive भी आए हैं. Like they have no symptoms. Of course, they can be asymptomatic. But पहले वो symptom test कराते हैं. They test positive. Then next time they do a test. थोड़े दिनों में they test negative. So what is this confusion? ये कैसे हो पाता है?
It does happen in many labs. There is discrepancy between two reports many a times. Like one lab tests positive, the another lab tests negative. So in such cases, this happens with government labs and private labs, or two private labs or two government labs. There's nothing like one lab is wrong and one lab is right. If there is a discrepancy, there are clear guidelines that a lab that reports, if a patient has two reports, one negative and positive, a positive report should be considered and patient should be treated accordingly. So it does happen many, sometimes it does not happen many times, but yes, occasionally it can happen. There could be various issues like because this is a PCR test, it's a very sensitive test, so it can happen because of that. It can also happen because of the way in which the sample has been taken. Because if it is not taken properly, then the results will not come in that particular sample. So if a patient has two reports and one is negative, one is positive, the patient should be considered as positive.
But how do we ascertain which result is correct?
Well, if he has two reports and if it comes positive, it's you cannot do it a third time. Like again, if it comes negative or if the third time it comes positive, it is better that you consider it as positive. These are the guidelines by the people who do the test. And even in a single test, we test for two genes. One is E gene and one is RDRP gene. So, believing in, if you look at the report, if you see that both the genes are positive, E and RDRP gene, then it means that it is conclusively positive. So, even if we are reporting and if we find both the genes are positive, then alone, then we are very confident that this has come positive. So if only one gene is positive, like only if E gene is positive, if you have looked at a report, we look for the three things that are mentioned in the report. One is E gene, one is RDRP gene, and third is the RP gene. So RP is housekeeping gene, tells whether the extraction is proper or not. E gene is a screen gene, like it tells whether any of the influenza virus is present or not. And the third gene is the RDRP gene, which is a confirmatory gene. So if RDRP is positive, it means that it is positive. So we test all three at one time. And if RDRP is positive, we give it as positive. We release the report as positive. So it is unlikely that both the genes which we are testing in a particular patient have come falsely positive. So it is unlikely that way, unless there is a contamination in the lab. But if that happens, then it will not happen only for one single patient. It will happen to many patients, to many of the reactions that are tested in that plate. So contamination will not be limited just to one drug.
A lot has been said about the timing as well. Like the timing was not noted when the sample was taken. What do you have to say about that?
Uh, the report that we issue that has time, it mentions the time when the report was, when the sample was received in the lab. If there is a home collection, or we were also receiving samples from other labs as well. So we don't know when the sample was taken. Or we were receiving samples from Amravati, we were receiving samples from Akola, Yavatmal, uh, such cases, Chandrapur. In such cases, we were not sure when the sample was taken. So we could not write that when the sample was taken. Or for that matter, there is another few labs in Nagpur or few hospitals in Nagpur that were collecting samples and sending to us. In such cases, we cannot write when the sample was collected from the patient. But definitely, the software that we have in the lab is such that it does mention when it was received in the lab. It comes by default, whatever time. If I enter it now, it will come whatever the time is now, and that will be reflected on the report. And as soon as the result is verified, that also gets reflected on the report. And our software that we have, we also calculated recently the turnaround time that was there for the release of reports. Our reports, on an average, were being released in 18 hours. So for government, I think they have prescribed a guideline of 24 hours. Our report should be released within 24 hours, and we were releasing in about 18 hours and 10 minutes. That was the average over the past 3 months.
So, what do you have to say about inconclusive test? I mean, the test result is inconclusive. Like, I even know some people whose result was inconclusive, and that patient went on to become critical for days altogether, for weeks. तो जिनका इनकंक्लूसिव टेस्ट रिपोर्ट आता है, पॉजिटिव नहीं, नेगेटिव नहीं, तो उन्होंने क्या करना चाहिए? लाइक व्हाट डज दैट मीन, और वो क्यों होता है?
Inconclusive, we have released very few reports as inconclusive, but if there is inconclusive, it means that RPG, that it tells whether the extraction is there proper or not. Sometimes we have got, like for example, we got an inconclusive report in a small child who was just about, say, 1 year old. And in such cases, it is very difficult to take a nasal swab in such cases because they're so small babies and or newborn babies. So in such cases, we just take oral swab. And sometimes if the sample comes from outside or if the sample is not taken properly, then we don't get the RP gene. If the RP gene is absent, that is the housekeeping gene, which only tells about RNA extraction, whether that is proper or not. If that is absent, then we release the report as inconclusive. So if all the three genes, for that matter, have been absent or not detected, then we cannot uh, uh, give a report as positive or negative. So those go as inconclusive. But that percentage is so less, maybe 1 in 1,000 cases, have reported in 1,000 cases. It is not in just our lab; it could be in any other lab. We send in data onto the portal or on WhatsApp, or other labs also send data on the WhatsApp. They also report some inconclusive cases. So it depends on two factors. One is how the sample was taken. Second, whether the RNA extraction is performed. And we have automated RNA extractions now, so the issue of RNA not being extracted properly becomes less because a lot is automation. Only it cannot happen just in one well. So those issues are there. Those issues are there in any PCR molecular lab. Now we are doing molecular testing for last say about 15 years now. So during the last epidemic of H1N1 about a few years ago, we have done one cases pertaining to H1N1 also. We had done one study with CDC Atlanta also for a period of 1 year testing for H1N1 in pregnant women. And they accepted our data. The data was published in Lancet, which is an international journal, along with CDC USA. So we had we had visits from CDC USA. We had visited NIV Pune during that, just because we were going for a project with CDC Atlanta. So whatever we are doing over last so many years, we are also supporting HLA kidney transplant, HLA typing for kidney transplant. That also is by PCR method. So whatever PCRs we have been doing, we're trying to do so many things because everything is moving at molecular level now. So for tuberculosis, for HBV, hepatitis B viral load, for HCV viral load, for HIV viral load. So all these things are being done by molecular method. HLA-B27 for ankylosing spondylitis. So it is not that we are not so much used to the technology because our lab is Dhruv Pathology and Molecular Diagnostic Lab. That is the name of the lab. So this was started it was started 25 years ago. So it was started with the aim to develop all these molecular techniques.
So काफी लोगों को ये जानना है, of course sometimes people don't have a clarity about the COVID testing rates. If once and for all you could just tell people what are the final rates, like walk-in rates and testing at home, RT-PCR and antigen.
The rates have been revised by ICMR time and time. Initially, when it was started first, it was 4,500 first to begin with. At that time, the supplies were also very expensive because everything was under lockdown. And the suppliers, the vendors were also not geared up to supply so many things related to this particular test. So the costs were high at that time. But with time, as things got relaxed and the suppliers also got geared up, the manufacturers got geared up, the importers are got geared up because many of the things are being imported. Raw material is getting imported. Not everything is manufactured in India for whatever is required for this test. So as things went by, the rates dropped, and the ICMR also brought down the rates. They put a capping on the rates that we were supposed to charge. So initially it was 4,500, then it came to I think 3,500, then 2,200, and now it is 1,600 for samples that are collected in a kiosk, a separate kiosk that we have. The home visit rates were also modified. And those are available on the net also. They are being circulated, they are being published in the newspapers. So as soon as the GR gets issued, the rates are immediately notified and they are visible to everybody. All doctors and patients nowadays are so smart, they come to know. So today the rates are whatever we are charging is 1600 because we are collecting in a kiosk, which is not inside. We cannot keep this collection inside the lab premises because there is a chance of contamination. And home visit rates are 2000. So these are the two rates that we have.
So, of course, credibility बहुत ज़्यादा matter करता है. Like credibility is very important, and of course, yours is a very old and a renowned lab in Nagpur. So, what do you think? Like the NMC slapping a fine of 5 lakhs and suspending the license. Do you think it has somehow affected the credibility and people would think twice before getting tested from your lab?
Maybe some people do think about that, but I have been getting calls throughout the day. And the reason why they have done this, they imposed the fine and suspended the license, is because we were not uploading the data. Nobody has said anything about the quality of the reports. So even doctors are happy with us. The numbers are increased because the doctors want to send to us. Um, there are about 35 centers from the government side, NMC, I gathered in Nagpur city alone, but still we are getting these many cases. We were getting. Uh, so I don't think some people are unhappy because if they get a positive report, they're not expecting a positive report. But if they get a positive report, they are unhappy. They think the lab is at fault. But now the community spread is so much in the city that even asymptomatic patients are there in plenty. And some of them compared with the COVID antigen test, which many times gives false negative results in up to 30 to 40% of cases. So you should not compare RT-PCR test with a antigen test. Those two are different methods totally. So credibility you cannot compare between two methods which are different. As far as credibility, after these reports have come about suspension, I think they should look into why they have called for suspension. Whether and they've said that as soon as the data gets uploaded onto the portal, they would remove the suspension. But whatever data, as I told you before, we were not able to upload it, which has occurred in number of cases, and we were lagging behind uploading on the portal, on the ICMR portal. And whatever we were uploading, the data, the total number of cases that we were reporting positive was going to NMC in any case. And they were aware of that there is a spurt in number of cases. The addresses are required for them to take action further, like containment or notifying. Containment basically, but nowadays containment also is not possible because so many people are positive. Initially it was there, like few cases were there, so containment was possible. But now with so many people positive around, every flat scheme has one or two families that has a positive case. So you cannot contain so many places. Every building there is one or two cases, or every neighborhood there is one or two cases that is positive. So it is impossible to contain so many areas.
But sir, there's panic among citizens now. How would you handle that panic, and what would you say to them?
Panic is there definitely because so many cases are positive, but
majorly because of testing inaccuracy, because some are getting positive, some are getting negative. The same person is getting positive and negative.
Yeah, that a discrepancy. If they find a discrepancy, there is a panic. Then they think that one of the lab is at fault. But when we talk to our fraternity, when we talk with physicians, if they have one positive or negative report, patient should be considered as positive. Then if he's symptomatic, then alone he should go to a hospital or get treated. If he's asymptomatic, he can be just on supportive treatment like vitamins and zinc, and he should not be started on treatment that is specific for this disease. So there's no need to panic as such, but yes, home isolation is required so they don't spread the disease inside the household or in their office.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Subscribe to Nation Next YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get regular updates from Nation Next. Also like Nation Next Facebook page and follow us on Instagram and Twitter.